Hello, everybody. It is Friday. Time for another episode of Trucker Money. This is number 61. If you're returning here, thanks for coming in. You know what this is all about. If you're new here, we just take a break from trucking every Friday, talk about something else, money, investing, personal finance, because that is my hobby. That is my passion. That is my side hustle. And all trucking, all the time, will make Adam a sad boy. We talk about some different things here. We talk about real estate, side income, passive income, investing, business. We need to talk about all kinds of different things, right? I'm actually thinking about right now looking into another rental property. Starting to see some opportunities, maybe some distressed properties. Have not particularly looked at anything right now, but it might be time to expand that real estate portfolio. I don't know. Really busy with the business right now. It's hard to find that where to put your time sometimes, right? So also, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. We're gonna talk about 5 things that wealthy people know, not taught in college, not taught by most parents, just things they know you should know. First, let's talk about this week of it's going to be 2 weeks actually, the 8th through the 19th, what we did for side income, passive income, investments, things like that, because I was off last week out doing some business. Did not get any rental income. We make a little bit of side income off of YouTube here. Hopefully we continue to grow that. 5 dividend payments in the dividend portfolio: Clorox, Stag Industrials, Procter & Gamble, Realty Income, and AbbVie. Stag Industrials, starting to really like that. It's starting to become a little ATM machine for me. I'm considering making it a larger position in the portfolio. Going to have to consider that for a long time before I make that decision, because there's so many other things here that I want to do. I'm getting really divided right now of where to commit resources. But just some thoughts I'm having. No increases in dividends this week. The only thing I bought new, I bought a little bit more Altria, ticker symbol MO. Bought a little bit more Flowers Foods. Not on sale, not a big buying opportunity, just trying to build it to a larger position in the portfolio. That's ticker symbol FLO. And put some more money into 2 mutual funds this week. One of them, Fidelity Contra Fund, which is one of my favorites, man. I've held that thing so long, and it's just been great. I love it. And then Fidelity Balanced Fund. I own that in my HSA, my health savings account, is where I keep a lot of my money for that. And I contributed some money there last week. And now let's talk about 5 things that wealthy people know and do that they don't teach in school and people kind of forget about, right? When I say wealthy, I don't mean rich. To me, rich and wealthy are different things. Rich is temporary. Wealthy is long-lasting. It's a state of mind. It's like a situation. You can be rich. You see all these athletes and actors. They're rich. They make millions of dollars a year, and a lot of times they end up broke because they never learned how to build true wealth. They never learned any discipline or applicable knowledge with money. They just made a lot of money. Making a lot of money is not wealthy. Keeping a lot of money and having a lot of money, that's wealthy. Some of them do achieve that. So let's talk about number 1, working hard. Well, and once again, we're talking about the average self-made person here. We're not talking about somebody born into it or an heiress or something like that. We're talking about people who started with a modest, maybe a middle-class lifestyle and went out and created some true wealth. Number 1, they've worked very hard. They put in the work, or you don't. It's just that simple. You put in the work, or you don't, if you want real success. If you want real success, you put in the work. Now, you take somebody like probably my father or his father and go back a few years, and they would probably say, this younger generation in this work-life balance thing, I don't get it. Right? In my day, if I didn't go to work, put in the work, I had 4 kids at home. I couldn't feed my kids. We didn't have the luxury of this so-called work-life balance thing. You kind of do today, but even at some point, you make the choice. Where do you want to go? And are you going to put in the work to get there? Now, there is the thing, work smarter, not harder. Yeah, they work smart. They certainly do. But then they take that smart work and they kill it. They work hard at it, right? It's not, it's this online, I work 3 hours a day and make $1 million a year. No, they'll take that same knowledge and work 18 hours a day and make $500 million a year. They know how to work. There's somebody once said, be obsessed or be average. No harm in either one. Pick what you want to be, because depending on what you put into it, that's what you're going to get, right? So number one is wealthy people tend to work very, very hard. Number two, sacrifice. They're willing to do what others won't, to get what others won't have, or to be what others won't be. They tend to have a clear picture of where they want to go, what they want, and are very driven and determined to get there. And with that will come some sacrifice in life. But just to say, well, I'm not willing to do that because I don't want to sacrifice this. I don't want, I'm not willing to put in that kind of work to sacrifice time with my family. Well, guess what? By doing that in itself is a sacrifice. You're just making different sacrifices. You can have the time with them later or now, but then you won't have the things with them later that other people might. So it's kind of a cop-out to say, well, I don't want to sacrifice this or I don't want to sacrifice that. Whatever decision you're making a sacrifice. Wealthy people just have a clearly defined what they will give up now to get later. Number three, wealthy people know how and what to learn. A lot of times they won't waste their time. My personal opinion anymore, I think a 4-year college is about a waste. But the amount of money you're going to put into it and all the classes and things you are forced to take to get this piece of paper called a degree that have nothing to do with it. If you're going to school to be a welder, why would I need a class in socioeconomics or basket weaving or whatever studies that have nothing to do with welding, right? The wealthy people will say, "Oh, I want to be a welder. Okay, I'm gonna go to a school. I'm gonna find one that's gonna let me take one class on metals. Maybe let me do some hands-on work. Teach me, and then if I want to have a welding business, I better take a class on running a business. Maybe one on accounting, all kinds of things like that, right? They know exactly what they need to learn, and they cut out the rest. And then they know how to learn it. They don't want to just they want to be hands-on. They want to go right to the top and say, I know this guy who's a welder. I want him to teach me. I don't want to mess around with this low-level stuff over here. I'm going to go right to the top, and if I got to pay this guy a little bit more, he's going to teach me. And I'm going to figure out if he doesn't want to teach me, I'm going to figure out what's worth his time to make him teach me, right? And then I'm going to learn all about, for my welding business, taxes and accounting, because I kind of need to know that, payroll and employee management. Maybe I need a little bit of that. I'm going to learn a little bit about all that, but then the details, I need to employ the services of a good CPA or tax accountant. I'm not going to go that deep into one particular topic, but I need to have a broad knowledge of all of these different things. Wealthy people, very good at that. Very good at that. They learn what they need to know. And then as a hobby, a lot of them will learn something that they're interested in, but then they cut the rest because it doesn't matter. The fourth thing is they know how to manage risk. Tell you what, we're going to talk about the fourth and fifth thing as one item because they kind of intertwine, right? And the fifth thing is actually the most important, is what I found. So number 4 was managing risk. Number 5 is mastering your mindset with money. That's a broad topic. Mastering the mindset, they don't care what you think. They block out the noise. They're very focused, right? And then that ties into risk management. So for instance, if you came into if I knew somebody that came into a windfall of money, say they're going to inherit $150,000, and I know this person had a past history of money where I get paid on Friday and I burn through it all by Monday and I'm just waiting for next Friday, right? Never really had anything and spends every penny they have. And they came to me and said, Adam, I'm inheriting $150,000. What should I do with it? I'd be like, man, this guy's going to blow it. What do I even tell him? So all I could say is what I would do. Like, from the outside looking in, I see it as you need to change your mindset with money. You need to work on your relationship money, or you will never have any. You need to get comfortable with having money, because your first instinct when you get money is to do something with it. I have to do something with it. That's my only option. That's what you're telling me. I have to do something with this money. What do I do? Well, how about there's the option to do nothing, right? I would, from the outside looking in, if I was going to tell this person, I would say, hey, take that money, Put it over in an account or something. Pay if you have some pressing issues, behind on some bills, pay that. Take the rest, put it in an account, and just leave it there. You need to conquer your emotions and your thoughts about money. So money doesn't have a grip on you. As soon as you can beat that, money will work for you. You will no longer work for money. This is a difficult concept, and most people will never achieve this. I am as close as I've ever been in my life to achieving this, and I think I might be there. I'm in touch and to grips with my emotions on money. So, and then this applies into risk management. So if you get this pile of money and say, what do I got to do with it? Okay, here's the different investments I can make. Some are good, some are not so good, some are bad. I got to pick from one of these. Well, no, you don't. You don't. You can pick none of them. And you can leave the money there. And it may be 8 months. There's something that comes along and man, there's not a lot of risk in this investment. The payoff is pretty decent. And guess what? I got the money sitting right over there. Whereas to say, these are the only investments I can do. These are the only things I can do with it. I got to pick one. Well, you pick one. It's not going to be probably what you want. But in your mind, you're thinking, I got to do something with this money. Putting it aside, you change your relationship with money. This is the most important out of any of them. Wealthy people have a totally different relationship with money than you and I. Money works for them. They don't work for money. And until you really, really understand that, we'll never be there. So the mastering the money mindset and tying it in with the manage risk thing. Actually, you could even drop the risk. Mastering the money mindset, the number one thing, as far as I'm concerned, with building wealth. And then you go into part of that, building a relationship, building a maturity with money. They're good at blocking out the noise. They know that 80-90% of the things you hear on TV, read on social media, in the media, in the news, is garbage. It's noise. They are focused on their goals, where they're going with money. And they don't care what you think. I don't drive fancy cars. I don't wear fancy clothes. I don't live in a mansion. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. There's all kinds of people on YouTube balling out, driving fancy vehicles and fancy houses. Good for them. If you got to maintain that image. But guess what? If I lost my job and couldn't work for a year or more, we're good. We're good, Jack. Try to maintain that lifestyle with no income coming in. It's hard, right? And if you want to apply this to trucking in business, mastering your mindset, think of this. If you watch YouTube trucking, you'd be convinced that things are garbage right now. Trucking is awful. I got to get out. Well, I'm not making any money. I'm losing. I'm not going to work for free. I'm not going to lose money. Okay, well, then you're not in business. There is no guarantee of a paycheck in business. Sometimes you make money. Sometimes you lose money. A guaranteed paycheck for work is called an employee. All right, and this might hurt some people's feelings. Like, oh, people are screwing me. I deserve to make money. You deserve nothing. If you are an employee and you work, you deserve your paycheck. If you're in business, you don't always make money. Sometimes you make way more than you deserve. Sometimes you make less than you deserve. Sometimes you make the right amount of what you deserve. Sometimes you lose money. That is business. Every business goes through that. Trucking is no different. If you want to build a long-term trucking business, you have to understand this, and you have to get past that emotion. Take the emotion out of it, right? Trucking, yeah, it's tough. It's not what it was the last couple of years, but I've been through this before. I've been in this for a long time. I've just decided the trucking business is what I do. And you know what? As tough as things are right now, finding opportunities, they're there. You just have to be in control enough to say, I picked up a new customer today potentially. The rates aren't. It's not $7 a mile like we were getting the last few years, but I know that's not reality. But we're gonna probably do business here for the next, hopefully, 5-10 years, right? On a sustainable plan. These things you can achieve when you get a reasonable mindset, and you aren't desperate or demanding for that next pie in the sky dollar. You can make a really reasonable amount of money for a long period of time instead of looking for that next pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. So block that noise out. Block out this noise of the trucking YouTube world that is telling you the sky is falling, we're all going to die, if you intend to have a trucking business for the foreseeable future. Because that stuff will weigh on your psyche, and you don't need to be dragged down by that. Anyway, enough about all that. Everybody take care. Let's do this again next week, and we will see y'all later.